Hey, this is Khalil Gibran coming to you with a discussion today that's going to be called A Starter Guide to Self-Improvement. A Starter Guide to Self-Improvement. We're going to talk about building self-esteem, behavior, self-help, and self-improvement. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check me out on my social media channels like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, etc. And without further ado, we're going to get into this. Staying calm, composed, and maintaining strong self-esteem in today's tough environment can be difficult, but it is not impossible if you follow a few simple guidelines. Here are 6 tips you can use as a starter guide to self-improvement. Everything and everyone else around you can affect your self-esteem. Other people can deliberately or inadvertently damage your self-image. Unchecked people and circumstances can ultimately destroy your self-esteem and pull you down in ways you won't even notice. Don't let these influences get the best of you. But what should you avoid? Number 1, a negative work environment. Beware of a dog-eat-dog environment where everyone else is fighting just to get ahead. This is where non-appreciative people usually thrive, and working extra is expected and not rewarded. In this environment, no one will appreciate your contributions, even if you miss lunch, dinner, and stay at work late into the night. Unless you are very fortunate, most of the time you will work too hard with no help from others around you. This type of atmosphere will ruin your self-esteem. This is not just healthy competition. At its worst, it is brutal and very damaging. Number 2, other people's behavior. Bulldozers, brown-nosers, gossip mongers, whiners, backstabbers, snipers, people walking around wounded, controllers, naggers, complainers, exploders, patronizers, sluffers, whatever you want to call them, all have one thing in common: an overriding desire to prosper at the expense of others. Avoid them and do not be tempted to join them. They may get some short-term advantage with their behavior, but deep down most are very insecure, unhappy, and ashamed of their behavior. For most of their self-esteem disappeared a long time ago. Seeing someone like this prosper is sickening, but do not join them. You are better than that. Number 3, a changing environment. In today's fast-moving society, it is difficult, if not impossible, to avoid change. Changes challenge our paradigms and test our flexibility, adaptability, and alter the way we think. Changes can make your life difficult and may cause stress. If it's inevitable, you must accept it. Don't fight it. In the meantime, find ways to improve your life. Try to manage change and try to avoid multiple changes at the same time. If a particular change can't be avoided, welcome it. Change will be with us forever. We must learn to live with it. Number 4, past experience. We all carry baggage, past experiences which have molded us to who we are today. But some people live in their past experiences, usually something that hurt and still hurts. It's okay to cry out when you experience pain, but don't let pain dominate your life, as it will transform itself into fears and phobias. If something painful happens or has happened to you, find a way to minimize the effects. Discuss it with a friend, a family member, or a professional if necessary, and move on. Don't let it continue to dominate your life and dictate your future actions. Just because something bad has happened doesn't mean it will happen again. Learn what you can from any bad experience and move on. Number 5, negative worldview. The television news is full of doom and gloom, and it is true that around the world there are many people suffering war, famine, or other natural or man-made disasters. While I do not suggest that you should not care and do nothing, remember that there are many beautiful, positive things happening as well. Don't wrap yourself up with all the negative aspects around the world. Learn to look for beauty too, for in building self-esteem, we must learn how to be positive in a negative world. Number 6, determination theory. Are we a product of our biological inherited characteristics, or a result of the influences we absorb throughout our lives? I believe how we are is due to a mixture of both nurture and nature, and as a result, our behavioral traits are not fixed. Whilst it is true that some things are dictated by genetics, your environment and the people in your life have a major effect on your behavior. You are your own person. You have your own identity and make your own choices. The characteristics your mother or father display are not your destiny. Learn from other people's experience so you don't